going to give everybody a chance to hop on. So today we are doing First Chronicles chapter 8 through 12. Can't believe it's Wednesday. We're on the 15th week out of 52, and it's Wednesday. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and get started before anybody starts joining us. Prayerfully, we have a better time with internet today. We can finish it, and it won't turn out like Monday. So I'm going to go ahead and start reading now. All right, so chapter 8, we're still in some choppy parts of Chronicles, but we're going to read it because it all matters. It's all important. Now, Benjamin begot Bela, his firstborn, Ashbeel the second, Ariah the third, Noah the fourth, and Rapha the fifth. The sons of Bela were Adar, Gera, Abihud, Abishua, Naaman, Ahoa, Gera, Shephufam, Haram. These were the sons of Ehud, who were the heads of the fathers' houses, of the inhabitants of Geba, who forced them to move to Manahath. Naaman, Ahiah, and Gera, who forced them to move, he begot Uzzah and Ahihud. Also, Shaharim, I hope I'm saying that right, had children in the country of Moab after he had sent away Husham and Bara his wives. By Hodesh his wife he begot Jobab, Zibiah, Mesha, Malcham, Jeuz, Sakia, and Mirmah. These were his sons, heads of their fathers' houses. And by Hushim he begot Abitub, Elpal. The sons of Elpal were Eber, Mishmam, Shemed, who built Ono and Lod with its towns, and Beriah and Shema, who were the heads of their fathers' houses of the inhabitants of Ajalon, who drove out the inhabitants of Gath. Ahio, Shashak, Jeremoth, Zebediah, Arad, Eder, Michael, Ispah, and Joah were the sons of Beriah. Zebediah, Meshulam, Hizki, Heber, Ishmerai, Jizliah, and Jobab were the sons of Elpal. Jakim, Zikri, Zabdi, Eleni, Zelathai, Eliel, Adiah or Adiah, I'm not sure, Beriah, and Shimrath were the sons of Shimei. Ishpan, Eber, Eliel, Abdam, Zikri, Hanan, Hananiah, Elam, and Tothia, I don't know how to say that, Ifdia, and Penuel were the sons of Shashak. Shamsharai, Shehariah, Athaliah, Jereshiah, Elijah, and Zikri were the sons of Jeroam. These were the heads of the fathers' houses by their generations, chief men, those who dwelt in Jerusalem. Now the father of Gibeon, whose wife was named Maacah, dwelt in Gibeon, and his firstborn son was Abdon, Ben Zur, Kish, Baal, Nadab, Gedor, Ahio, and Zecher. Milcoth, who begot Shemiah, they also dwelt alongside their relatives in Jerusalem with their brethren. Ner begot Kish, Kish begot Saul, Saul begot Jonathan, Malchishua, Abinadab, and Eshbel. The son of Jonathan was Maribel, and Maribel begot Micah. The sons of Micah were Pithon, Melech, Teriah, and Ahaz. And Ahaz begot Jehoiada. Jehoiada begot Elimelech, Asmaveth, Zimri, and Zimri begot Moza. Moza begot Benai, Rapha his son, Elisiah his son, and Azel his son. Azel had 6 sons whose names were these: Azrikam, Bocheru, or Bocheru, Ishmael, Shariah, Obadiah, and Hanan. All of these were the sons of Azel. And the sons of Eshek, his brother, were Ulam, his firstborn, Jeush the second, and Eliphet the third. The sons of Ulam were mighty men of valor, archers. They had many sons and grandsons, 150 in all. These were all the sons of Benjamin. And then chapter 9. So all Israel was recorded by genealogies, and indeed they were inscribed in the book of the kings of Israel. But Judah was carried away captive to Babylon because of their unfaithfulness. And the first inhabitants who dwelt in their possessions in their cities were Israelites, priests, Levites, and Nethinim. Hold on just a second. All right, chapter 9. So all of Israel was recorded by genealogies, and indeed they were inscribed in the book of the kings of Israel. But Judah was carried away captive to Babylon because of their unfaithfulness. And the first inhabitants who dwelt in their possessions in their cities were Israelites, priests, Levites, and the Nethinim. Now in Jerusalem, the children of Judah dwelt, and some of the children of Benjamin, and of the children of Ephraim and Manasseh. Uthai, the son of Amihud, the son of Omri, the son of Imri, the son of Bani, of the descendants of Perez, the son of Judah, of the Shilonites, Asaiah, the firstborn, and his sons, and of the sons of Zerah, Jeuel and their brethren, 690. Of the sons of Benjamin, Salu, the son of Meshulam, the son of Hodaviah, the son of Hasanua, Ibniah, the son of Jeroam, Elah, the son of Uzi, the son of Mikri, Meshulam, the son of Shephatiah, the son of Reel, the son of Ibniah, I hope I'm saying that right, and their brethren according to their generations, 956. All these men were heads of their father's house in their father's houses. Of the priests, Jediah, Jehoiarib, Jachin, Azariah, the son of Hilkiah, the son of Meshulam, the son of Zadok, the son of Mirioth, the son of Ahitub, the officer over the house of God. Adiah, the son of Jeroam, the son of Pashur, the son of Milkiah, Masi, the son of Adiel, the son of Jazarah, the son of Meshulam, the son of Meshulamith, the son of Immer, and the brethren heads, and their brethren heads of their father's houses, 1,760. They were very able men for the work of the service of the house of God. Of the Levites, Shemaiah, the son of Hashub, the son of Azrikam, the son of Hashbiah, the sons of Merari, Bakbakar, Haresh, Galal, and Mataniah, the son of Micah, the son of Zikri, the son of Asaph, Obadiah, the son of Shemaiah, the son of Galal, the son of Jeduthun, and Berechiah, the son of Asa, the son of Elkanah, who lived in the villages of the Netophites. And the gatekeepers were Shallum, Akub, Talmon, Ahiman, and their brethren. Shallum was the chief. Until then, they had been gatekeepers for the camps of the children of Levi at the king's gate on the east. Shallum, the sons of Kor, the son of Ebiasaph, the son of Korah, and his brethren from his father's house, the Korites, were in charge of the work of the service. Gatekeepers of the tabernacle. Their fathers had been keepers of the entrance of the camp of the Lord. And Phinehas, the son of Eleazar, had been the officer over them in time past. The Lord was with him. Zechariah, the son of Meshelemiah, was keeper of the door of the tabernacle of meeting. All those chosen as gatekeepers were 212. They were recorded by their genealogy in their villages. David and Samuel the seer had appointed them to their trusted office. So they and their children were in charge of the gates of the house of the Lord, the house of the tabernacle by assignment. The gatekeepers were assigned to the 4 directions: east, west, north, and south. And their brethren in their villages had come to them from time to time for 7 days. For in this trusted office were 4 chief gatekeepers. They were Levites, and they had charge over the chambers and the treasuries of the house of God. And they lodged all around the house of God because they had the responsibility, and they were in charge of opening it every morning. Now, some of them were in charge of the serving vessels, for they brought them in and took them out by count. Some of them were appointed over the furnishings and over all the implements of the sanctuary, and over the fine flour and the wine and the oil and the incense and the spices. And some of the sons of the priests made the ointment of spices. Mattithiah of the Levites, the firstborn of Shallum the Korite, had the trusted office over the things that were baked in the pans. And some of their brethren and the sons of the Kohathites were in charge of preparing the showbread for every Sabbath. These are the singers, heads of the fathers' houses of the Levites, who lodged in the chambers and were free from their duties. They were employed in that work day and night. These heads of the fathers' houses of the Levites were heads throughout their generations. They dwelt at Jerusalem, which is showing Saul's genealogy and death leading up to the story of David, is found in 1 Chronicles 9:35 through 10:14. Saul's genealogy, 1 Chronicles 8:33 through 40, just so that you guys know. Verse 35, Jeiel, the father of Gibeon, whose wife's name was Maacah, dwelt at Gibeon. His first son was Abdon, then Zur, Kish, Baal, Ner, Nadab, Gedor, Ahio, Zechariah, and Mikloth. And Mikloth begot Shimeam. They also dwelt alongside their relatives in Jerusalem with their brethren. Ner begot Kish, Kish begot Saul, and Saul begot Jonathan, Malchishua, Abinadab, and Eshbaal. The son of Jonathan was Meribel, and Meribel begot Micah. The sons of Micah were Pithon, Melech, Teriah, and Ahaz. And Ahaz begot Jerah. Jerah begot Osmaveth, Zimri, and Zimri begot Moza. Moza begot Beniah, I don't know how to say that one. Rephaiah, I don't know. His son, Elisha, his son, and Aziel, his son. And Aziel had 6 sons whose names were these: Azrikam, Bocheru, Ishmael, Shariah, Obadiah, Hanan, and these were the sons of Aziel. Chapter 10. Now the Philistines fought against Israel, and it says the defeat of Israel and the death of Saul Jonathan is found in 1 Samuel 31, 1 through 7. Sorry. Now the Philistines fought against Israel, and the men of Israel fled before the Philistines and fell slain on Mount Gilboa. Then the Philistines followed hard after Saul and his sons, and the Philistines killed Jonathan, Abinadab, Malchishua, all Saul's sons. The battle became fierce against Saul. The archers hit him, and he was wounded by the archers. Then Saul said to his armor bearer, "Draw your sword and thrust me through with it, lest these uncircumcised men come and abuse me." But his armor bearer would not, for he was greatly afraid. Therefore Saul took a sword and fell on it. And when his armor bearer saw that Saul was dead, he also fell on his sword and died. So Saul and his 3 sons died, and all of his house died together. And when all the men of Israel who were in the valley saw that they had fled, and that Saul and his sons were dead, they forsook their cities and fled. Then the Philistines came and dwelt in them. So it happened the next day, when the Philistines came to strip the slain, that they found Saul and his sons fallen on Mount Gilboa. And they stripped him and took his head and his armor and sent word throughout the land of the Philistines to proclaim the news in the temple of their idols and among their people. Then they put his armor in the temple of their gods and fastened his head in the temple of Dagon. And when all of Jabesh Gilead heard that what the Philistines had done to Saul, all the valiant men arose and took the body of Saul and the bodies of his sons, and they brought them to Jabesh and buried their bones under the tamarisk tree at Jabesh and fasted 7 days. And you'll find that in 1 Samuel 31, 11 through 13. So Saul died for his unfaithfulness, which he had committed against the Lord, because he did not keep the word of the Lord, and also because he consulted a medium for guidance. And that's found in 1 Samuel 28. But he did not inquire of the Lord, therefore he killed him and turned the kingdom over to David, the son of Jesse. And we'll find the reign of David 40 years in 1 Chronicles 11, 1 through 29, 30. David was made king of Israel, 1 Chronicles 11, 1 through 12, verse 40. And then 2 Samuel 2, 1 through chapter 5, verse 25. Chapter 11. Then all of Israel came together to David at Hebron, saying, "Indeed, you are bone and your flesh." Indeed, we are your bone and your flesh. Also, in times past, even when Saul was king, you were the one who led Israel out and brought them in. And the Lord your God said to you, "You shall shepherd my people Israel and be ruler over my people Israel." Therefore, all the elders of Israel came to the king at Hebron, and David made a covenant with them at Hebron before the Lord, and they anointed David king over Israel according to the word of the Lord by Samuel. And David and all of Israel went to Jerusalem, which is Jebus, where the Jebusites were, the inhabitants of the land. And you'll find that in 2 Samuel 5, 6 through 12. That's when Jerusalem was made the capital of the United Kingdom. Verse 5. But the inhabitants of Jebus said to David, "You shall not come in here." Nevertheless, David took the stronghold of Zion. That is the city of David. Now David said, "Whoever attacks the Jebusites first shall be chief and captain." And Joab, the son of Zeruiah, went up first and became chief. Then David dwelt in the stronghold, therefore they called it the city of David. And he built the city around it from the Milo to the surrounding area. Joab repaired the rest of the city. So David went on and became great, and the Lord of hosts was with him. And we'll see, this is going to go into the mighty men. So the mighty man is also listed in 2 Samuel 23. And then Jashobeam is also listed in 2 Samuel 23 and 8. All right, verse 10. Now these were the heads of the mighty men who David had, who strengthened themselves with him in his kingdom with all of Israel, to make him king according to the word of the Lord concerning Israel. And this is the number of the mighty men whom David had Jashobeam, the son of a Hakamonite, chief of the captains. He had lifted up his spear against 300, killed by him at one time. Verse 12. After him was Eleazar, the son of Dodo, the Ahohite, who was one of the three mighty men, and you'll find that in 2 Samuel 23:9. He was with David at Pas Damim. Now the Philistines were gathered for battle, and there was a piece of ground full of barley. So the people fled from the Philistines, but they stationed themselves in the middle of that field, defended it, and killed the Philistines. So the Lord brought about a great victory. Verse 15. Now 3 of the 30 chief men went down the rock to David into the cave of Adullam, and the army of the Philistines encamped in the valley of Rephaim. David was then in the stronghold, and the garrison of Philistines was then in Bethlehem. And David said with longing, "Oh, that someone would give me a drink of water from the well of Bethlehem, which is by the gate." So the three broke through the camp of the Philistines, drew water from the well of Bethlehem that was by the gate, and took it and brought it to David. Nevertheless, David would not drink it, but poured it out as an offering to the Lord. And he said, "Far be it from me, O my God, that I should do this. Shall I drink the blood of these men who have put their lives in jeopardy? For at the risk of their lives they brought it. Therefore he would not drink it." These things were done by the three mighty men. And you'll find the story about the three mighty men in 2 Samuel 23:8-17. Then we're going into Abishai, which you'll find that in 2 Samuel 23:18. Abishai, the brother of Joab, was chief of another three. He had lifted up his spear against the 300 men, killed them, and won a name among these three. Of the three, he was more honored than the other two men. Therefore, he became their captain. However, he did not attain the first three. Benaiah, was the son of Jehoiada, the son of a valiant man from Kabzeel, who had done mighty deeds. He had killed 2 lion-like heroes of Moab. Excuse me. He had also gone down and killed a lion in the midst of a pit on a snowy day, and he killed an Egyptian, a man of great height, 5 cubits tall. In the Egyptian's hand there was a spear like a weaver's beam, and he went down to him with a staff, wrestled the spear out of the Egyptian's hand, and killed him with his own spear. These things Benaiah the son of Jehoiada did, and won a name among the three mighty men, which that's still in chapter 23, verse 30 of 2 Samuel. Indeed, he was more honored than the 30, but he did not attain to the first three, and David appointed him over his guard. Also, the mighty warriors were Ashahel, the brother of Joab, Elhanan, the son of Dodo of Bethlehem, Shemoth, the Harorite, Pelez, the Pelonite, Ira, the son of Achish, the Tekoite, Abiezer, the Anathite, Sibekai, the Hushathite, Eli, the Ahoite, Mahariah, the Netophathite, Heled, the son of Bana, the Netophathite, Ithai, the son of Rebiah of Gibeah, of the sons of Benjamin, Benaiah, the Pirathonite, all the ites, Harai, of the Burks of Gash, Abiel, the Arbathite, Asmabeth, the Baharumite, Eliba, I hope I'm saying that right, the Shalbonite, the sons of Hashim, the Gizonite, Jonathan, the son of Shaggai, the Harite, Athayim, the son of Sakar, the Harite, Elphal, the son of Hefer, the Mecharathite, Ahiah, the Pelonite, Hezro, the Carmelite, Nerai, the son of Ezbai, Joel, the brother of Nathan, Mibhar, the son of Hagri, Zelek the Ammonite, Naharai, I don't know how to say that, the Beerothite, the armor bearer of Joab, the son of Zeruiah, Ira the Ithrite, Gareb the Ithrite, Uriah the Hittite, Zabad the son of Ahalai, Adina the son of Shiza the Reubenite, a chief of the Reubenites, and 30 with him, Hanan the son of Makkah, Joshaphat the Mithnite, Uzziah the Ashterathite, Shammah and Jael the sons of Hotham the Arorites, Jadiel the son of Shimri, and Joah his brother the Tizite, Eliel the Mahavite, Jerubai and Josheva, the sons of Elnam, Ithma the Moabite, Heliel, Obed, and Jasael the Mesobite. So many ites there. Anyways, you'll find the 48 other mighty men in 2 Samuel 23, 24 through 39. And then chapter 12, the companies that came with David while in Ziklag. You'll find that in 1 Samuel 30. From Benjamin, chapter 12. Now these were the men who came to David at Ziklag while he was still a fugitive from Saul the son of Kish, and they were among the mighty men helpers in the war, armed with bows, using both the right hand and the left, in hurling stones and shooting arrows with the bow. They were of Benjamin, Saul's brethren. The chief was Ahiezer, then Joash, the sons of Shimei, the Gibeathite, Jezael, and Pelet, the sons of Asmaveth, Bacharah, and Jehu, the Anathite, Ishmaiah, the Gibeonite, a mighty man among the 30 and over the 30, Jeremiah, Jahaziel, Johanan, Jozbad, the Gederathite, Eluzai, Jeremoth, Beliah, Shemariah, and Shephatiah, the Haruphite, Elkanah, Jeshiah, Azrael, Joazer, Joshbeam, the Korites, Joelah, Zebediah, the sons of Jeroam of Gedor. Some Gadites joined David in the stronghold in the wilderness. Mighty men of valor, men trained for battle, who could handle the shield and the spear, whose faces were like the faces of a lion, and who were swift as gazelles on the mountains. Ezer the first, Obadiah the second, Eliab the third, Mishmana the fourth, Jeremiah the fifth, Attai the sixth, Eliel the seventh, Johanan the eighth, Elzabud the ninth, Jeremiah the 10th, and Macbanai the 11th. These were from the sons of Gad, captains of the army. The least was over 100, and the greatest was over 1,000. These are the ones who crossed the Jordan in the first month, when it had overflowed all of its banks, and they put to flight all of those in the valleys to the east and to the west. Then some of the sons of Benjamin and Judah came to David at the stronghold. And David went out to meet them and answered and said to them, "If you have come peaceably to help me, my heart will be united with you. But if to betray me to my enemies, since there is no wrong in my hands, may the God of our fathers look and bring judgment." Then the Spirit of God came upon Amasai, chief of the captains, and he said, "We are yours, O David. We are on your side, O son of Jesse." Peace, peace to you, and peace to your helpers, for your God helps you. So David received them and made them captains of the troop. And some from Manasseh defected to David when he was going with the Philistines to battle against Saul. But they did not help them, for the lords of the Philistines sent them away by agreement, saying, he may defect to his master Saul and endanger our heads. So he had the Gadites who came to Ziklag. Then he had the men of Benjamin and Judah, and then Manasseh. When he went to Ziklag, those of Manasseh who defected to him were Adnah, Jozabad, Jediel, Michael, Jozabad, another Jozabad, Elihu, Zilithai, captains of the thousands who were from Manasseh. And they helped David against the bands of raiders, for they were all mighty men of valor, and they were captains in the army. Men of Israel who came to make David king from Judah, 6,800 men. That's what's coming next, and you'll find that also in 2 Samuel chapter 5, 1 through 3. Okay, so verse 22. For at that time they came to David by day to help him until it was a great army, like the army of God. Now these were the numbers of the divisions that were equipped for war, and came to David at Hebron to turn over the kingdom of Saul to him, according to the word of the Lord. Of the sons of Judah bearing the shield and spears, 6,800 men armed for war. From Simeon, 7,100 men. From Levi, 4,600 men. From Benjamin, 3,000 men. From Ephraim, 20,800 men. From Manasseh, 18,000 men. From Zebulun, 50,000 men. From Naphtali, 38,000 men. From Dan, 28,600 men. From Asher, 40,000 men. From Eastern Manasseh, Gad, and Reuben, 120,000 men in total. 3 days feast, over 337,100 men of war, with multitudes not in the armies. So I'm going to read through these, starting at Simeon. Of the sons of Simeon, mighty men of valor, fit for war, 7,100. Of the sons of Levi, 4,600. Jehoiada, leader of the Aaronites, and with him 3,700. Zadok, a young man, a valiant warrior from his father's house, 22 captains. Of the sons of Benjamin, relatives of Saul, 3,000, until the greatest part of them had remained loyal to the house of Saul. Of the sons of Ephraim, 20,800 men of valor, famous men throughout their father's house. Of the half tribe of Manasseh, 18,000, who were designated by name to come and make David king. Verse 32. Of the sons of Issachar, who had understanding of the times to know what Israel might do, their chiefs were 200, and their brethren were at their command. Of Zebulun, there were 50,000 who went out to battle, expert in war with all the weapons of war, stout-hearted men who could keep ranks. Of Naphtali, 1,000 captains, and with them 37,000 with shield and spear. Of the Danites who could keep battle formation, 28,600. Of Asher, those who could go out to war, able to keep battle formation, 40,000. Of the Reubenites and the Gadites and the half tribe of Manasseh from the other side of the Jordan, 120,000 armed for battle with every kind of weapon of war. All of these men of war who could keep ranks, came to Hebron with a loyal heart to make David king over Israel, and all the rest of Israel were of one mind to make David king. And they were there with David 3 days, eating and drinking, for their brethren had prepared for them. Moreover, those who were near to them, from as far away as Issachar and Zebulun and Naphtali, were bringing food on donkeys and camels and mules and oxen. provisions of flour and cakes of figs, cakes of raisins, wine, oil, and oxen and sheep abundantly, for there was joy in Israel. So David's religious policies you'll find in 1 Chronicles 13, 1 through 17, 27, 2 Samuel 6, 1 through 7, 29. And then you'll see where David attempts to bring the ark back to Jerusalem in 2 Samuel 6, 1 through 5, which is what we'll be going into tomorrow. Just a little preview. Okay, so let me do the review for these chapters. We kind of got through them pretty fast today, it feels like. But excuse me for a second. I need to blow my nose. Thank you for your patience. I am still very much fighting this cold. It's been here for a long time, so it's just lingering. Okay, let me turn this light off. All right, so chapter 8 of 1 Chronicles. God names even the nearly forgotten. This chapter traces the genealogy of Benjamin, the tribe that was almost erased after earlier judgment. Though wounded historically, Benjamin remains present and purposeful in God's unfolding plan, eventually producing Saul and later faithful warriors for David. Excuse me. The chapter quietly reveals that God does not discard tribes or people because of their past failures. Lineage continues, purpose endures, and restoration remains possible. God preserves identity even after severe judgment. The devotional truth of this chapter is that God remembers those history that so God remembers those who history nearly forgets. I meant to put who there, but I didn't. The leadership truth of this chapter is that leaders must never write people off because of past collapse or past mistakes. The leadership nuggets of this chapter is past judgment does not cancel future purpose. God restores dignity through remembrance. Identity precedes assignment, and healing often begins quietly and not publicly. 1 Chronicles chapter 9, faithfulness is restored after exile. This chapter recounts those who returned to Jerusalem after exile. The priests, the Levites, gatekeepers, and workers. Worship is restored intentionally and carefully. The focus is not on numbers or status, but on faithful service. God rebuilds the nation by restoring daily obedience before national glory. Restoration begins with reordered worship and not political power. The devotional truth of this chapter is that God rebuilds through faithful service. The leadership truth of this chapter is that leaders restore strength by prioritizing spiritual order. And the leadership nuggets of this chapter is that God honors servants who show up faithfully. Stability follows disciplined worship. Small roles sustain great restoration. And God values consistency over visibility. 1 Chronicles chapter 10. Failed leadership is remembered as a warning. Chronicles retells Saul's death, not to shame him, but to explain why the leadership was transferred to David. The text emphasizes Saul's unfaithfulness and failure to seek the Lord. Remember, it said he stuck a medium, right? This chapter reveals that leadership failure is instructional when truth is told honestly. Saul's reign ends not because of a lack of opportunity, but because of lack of obedience. God removes leadership once resistance replaces repentance. The devotional truth of this chapter is that disobedience erodes spiritual authority. The leadership truth of this chapter is that leaders are accountable to how they respond to God's word. And then the leadership nuggets, God warns before he replaces. And he gave Saul a lot of time. Leadership is sustained by obedience and not by position. Truth preserves future leaders from repeated mistakes. Legacy is shaped by submission or resistance. First Chronicles chapter 11. God establishes the leader that he's already chosen. David is anointed king over all of Israel. He captures Jerusalem and establishes it as a capital. The people recognize what God had already declared. This chapter shows that divine appointment eventually receives public confirmation. Because remember, he was appointed way before the people knew, right? He was appointed in private, just him and Samuel, when he was just a shepherd boy, right? And then there was another time that he was appointed, right? And then finally, the third time is whenever the people knew. The people caught the revelation. They understood. God's leader is not created by a popular vote, but it is recognized by it eventually. God confirms what he previously appointed. The devotional truth of this chapter is that God's timing completes his promise. True leaders do not seize authority, they receive it. Remember, David had all those chances to do something to Saul, and he refused to do it. Leadership nuggets of this chapter: God's promises unfold in stages, as we see David's life. Patience protects calling. Recognition follows preparation. God establishes what he ordained. All those wars and everything else, David waiting, was developing character in David. All of it, nothing was wasted. First Chronicles chapter 12, unity forms around God's anointed. Mighty warriors from all tribes rally to David. Scripture emphasizes loyalty, skill, discernment, and unity. The phrase, men who understood the times, highlights spiritual awareness. We know the sons of Issachar were able to discern the proper timing and season in God. So that's what that's talking about. This chapter reveals that God gathers the right people when leadership is aligned with him. So when we align ourselves, then God sends the people, the ones that are supposed to be aligned. Unity comes not from charisma alone, but by divine confirmation. God forms strength through unity around his chosen leader. Devotional truth of this chapter: God unites people around divine purpose. The leadership truth is alignment with God attracts the right alliances. The leadership nuggets: unity is forged through shared convictions. Discernment is as valuable as strength. God supplies both skill and support. Leadership multiplies influence when people are aligned. The overall devotional summary of 1 Chronicles 8 through 12. Chapter 8, identity preserved after near collapse. Chapter 9, faithful service restores order. Chapter 10, failed leadership teaches sobering lessons. Chapter 11, God establishes his chosen king. Chapter 12, unity gathers around divine purpose. God rebuilds identity before authority, restores worship before power, removes unfaithful leaders honestly, establishes his chosen servant faithfully, and unites his people purposefully. What God appoints, he supports fully. The leadership takeaway is that godly leaders honor identity, value faithfulness, learn from failures, wait for God's confirmation, and welcome unity. When leadership aligns with God, people with discernment, strength, and loyalty gather naturally. Amen. I pray that you guys were blessed, and I will see y'all tomorrow for 1 Chronicles chapter 13 through 17. Amen.